So hi, this is Nick Williams and I'm sitting here with Jeff. Hi Jeff Allen, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
We've known each other quite a few years and you've been a great friend to me and a mentor. And you're a messenger, so you've offered to share a few tips about your life as a messenger. So in essence, what's your message? When you're in front of people, what do you want them to know?
I think the thing for me really, Nick, is, I kind of got this quite a number of years ago, I think my message is about teaching people how to bridge. Bridging cultures, bridging differences, bridging sexes, to bridge, whether that's in relationships or in business, but to always learn, there's a way to build that bridge. Right. And once you do, then everything else will work out. So
break isolation and build bridges.
Yeah. To be able to touch other people, to, make that difference. End the conflicts, basically. Yeah.
Thank you. And when did you acknowledge or recognise that was part of your kind of job description for life?
It's funny, I tell people in my seminars, I never made a decision to do this. I never woke up one morning and said, I'd do this. How it happened for me was, I just, made a decision to start working on myself, to start changing. And then from that moment on, step by step, everything I needed and the direction I was called to go in was just laid in front of me. And I just took those steps, and this is where I landed up.
Okay. And, for most people thinking about being a messenger or having a message to get out into the world, it strikes a lot of fear and stimulates a lot of kind of anxieties and doubts. So how do you deal with your humanness? I presume you have some.
Absolutely. I mean, my biggest challenge was speaking in front of people. I mean, my biggest trauma at school was being totally humiliated. And so when I first started this, it was the toughest thing in the world to do. But I learned that lesson that, where our greatest traumas are, also where our greatest gifts were. And I just had to face that fear. There's no way around it. And I think when people say, how do I know I'm, on purpose? And I usually ask them, how frightened are you? Yeah. And if they say not at all, you go, well, you're kidding yourself. So yeah, you've got to learn to face your fear, absolutely.
I like the idea that, the job of a leader in a way is to be scared regularly.
Oh yeah, no, I think if you're going out there and you're either excited or slightly fearful, then that means you're probably on track. If you're getting blasé about doing stuff, then you probably got yourself stuck in a rut.
Okay, thanks. And what have been the kind of practical steps that you've taken that have really made a difference for you? What things have you actually done that have really kind of got you out there?
Yeah, I think the main thing for me was to really work on myself, just to train myself. And in doing that, the practical steps were just going, like booking seminars, even when I wanted to give up and wanted to stop. Just, keep regularly booking seminars, regularly getting out on the road, regularly learning. And I think the universe sends you the people that you need, to hone your teeth on.
So for you it's been just a real commitment to show up?
Absolutely, and just one step at a time, and really dealing with all your feelings of failures and your personality attacks and all the things that come up when you're trying to get out there.
And is that really what's most caused your success, or is there anything else? Is it like you say, your willingness to keep working on yourself as well?
No, I think that, and also learning how to receive and letting people help you, and having good relationships with the promoters and with your friends and people like you. It's just this one makes it all work. And I think once you get that, the rest just follows. The success follows.
So learning to be a great collaborator as well, and work in partnership.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's one lesson everyone has to learn time and time again, that a group of people will always do a lot better than an individual.
And how much of this has felt like, well, I've had a plan, you've had your own plan, and how much of it has felt like it's kind of been a divine plan that's unfolded?
For me, I think once I made that decision to start healing and getting on that track, I think the whole thing's been a divine plan. Yeah. I think, one of the things that I learned more and more is recognizing I have no idea what's actually in my best interest. And usually when I think I know what's in my best interest, that's usually I'm just about to make a big mistake.
Trip up.
Yeah, exactly.
So a lot of it is a divine plan, and just heal yourself and the next step becomes clear.
Absolutely. When I started doing seminars, I really got how the universe laid out a plan for me, and as long as I didn't run away from anything or run towards anything and just took those steps, that it laid the curriculum out for me exactly what steps and the people I need were just put in front of me.
Brilliant. Thank you. So you've been on this journey now, you've been out there for 20 years, you know, talking and stuff. If you could talk to the you know, 22 years ago that didn't quite know what was coming down the line, what would you say to him to encourage him or to help him?
Yeah, I would have just, you know, encouraged, not that I would have listened, of course, 20 years ago, but I would have encouraged it just to connect quicker with the divine plan.
Yeah.
And really to, you know, to learn the art of surrender a lot earlier.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
And that surrender's not scary.
Yeah, no,
it's
and that,
safe.
yeah, absolutely. And of course that the trust needs to come in on that. You know, it really brings up, you know, deep fears and things like that about how you won't be looked after and nobody else actually has your best interests at heart, which of course aren't true, but you know, most of us grew up believing that. You know.
And finally, for anyone else kind of watching this or listening to this, you know, who's got a message they want to get out to the world and doesn't kind of know where to start, any other tips for them?
Yeah, it's just, you know, like the Dalai Lama said, you know, just don't give up. You know, and I always tell people, if I can make it, you can make it. You know, I started from a really low base, and you know, it's like even now, still some of my family members or people that knew me well in the earlier part of my life are going, I don't believe you do what you're doing. So sometimes you do have to, you know, have the courage to come out with a different message. Sometimes it does mean you've got to leave some friends behind that, you know, it's not true for them to walk with you on this particular path. And so that's not easy.
Stay true to your own heart and your own inner guidance and wisdom.
Yeah, and really go for that clarity in that. And you recognise when you're caught between two things, and you know, these are just always places you need to heal stuff. You know, until you do get that clarity, and you do know what the truth is. It's just obvious.
So thank you very much, Jeff. I'm sure people have really enjoyed watching this and hearing your experience.
Yeah,
So
I'd love to watch it when it comes out.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you.